Rumor had it the campus beauty was icy and never let men near her, no matter whether it was the cutest guy in class, the department, or the whole campus pursuing her. She coldly gave them no response. Yet on my first day at school, she cornered me against a wall in front of everyone. Crying, she asked if I wanted a wife. Before I could even agree, she grabbed my hand and raced to the registry office. 3 minutes later, I stared at the marriage certificate in my hand, then at Mikai's exquisite face. My whole head was spinning. Just moments ago, I had been painfully single. Now I had a campus beauty wife. The campus beauty, Mikai, followed behind me, wearing that same composed expression. Have you looked enough? Starting today, we are legally married. Let's go. Mikai tugged at my sleeve, calmly preparing to leave. Where are we going? Back to school, of course. Don't you have class this afternoon? When I got back to school, I lay on my bed, contemplating life for ages, when my dorm doors suddenly opened. A beautiful girl in a short white skirt stood in the doorway. My scalp went numb. Why was Mikai here? Expressionless, Mikai surveyed my dorm room. It's lunchtime. Want to eat together? Anyone with eyes could tell. Mikai was speaking to me. Nervously, I answered, okay, let's go. Classmate Mikai. She frowned. Linmo, you're addressing me wrong. Seeing my confused expression, Mikai calmly said, you should call me wife. In an instant, the entire men's dormitory seemed to fall silent. You could have heard a pin drop. My head suddenly began to buzz. Why did Mikai have to announce it? As the dorm's eldest brother, Hizu was the oldest and quickest to react. The goddess-like campus beauty, Mikai, had come to invite their third roommate to lunch. And judging by this, they were clearly close. Mikai, are you dating our third brother? Honestly, he never told us. You two kept it so quiet. Mikai considered this seriously. Please don't misunderstand. We're not dating. All of Hishu's words caught in his throat. What was going on? But then Mikai held out her hand, inviting me to take it. After being single since birth for 20 years, this was the first time a girl had asked to hold my hand. I shakily reached out, and our fingers intertwined. At that moment, I could almost hear the hearts of every guy in the dormitory shattering. Mikai pulled me closer. The scene was truly bizarre. What I meant by don't misunderstand was, we aren't boyfriend and girlfriend. We're husband and wife. At that instant, it sounded like the men's dormitory exploded. Soon, we arrived at the campus cafeteria. I knew Mikai was popular at school, but I never expected that simply eating lunch would draw such a crowd. After all, I was the first guy ever to successfully sit beside Mikai. Gossip spreads faster than light. I didn't need to guess. Qingmu Academy's forum had to be going wild by now. Mikai was famous for keeping herself apart from men. She did not have a single male friend. We sat facing each other. Mikai propped her chin on one hand, watching me the whole time. She looked adorable, especially that smile at the corner of her lips. She left me stunned. I hurriedly lowered my head and focused on lunch. Mikai ate tiny bites as well. Everyone knows, watching a beautiful woman eat is a lovely sight. Seeing that I stayed silent, she picked up a piece of meat from her bowl and placed it on my plate. Do you have class this afternoon? Mikai did it so naturally, like any wife serving food to her husband. The onlookers around us felt as though they had been force-fed a huge display of affection. What the hell? Who is this guy? Even the aloof campus beauty is so devoted to him. Yes, I do. It runs until 2:30. Alright. I'll wait for you at the library. Come get me after class and help me pack my things. Mikai's calm words left me dumbfounded. Mikai nodded. I told you I was moving in with you. So, I need to move my things from my dorm to your place. Okay. Won't the people in your dorm say anything? We're still young. After all, Mikai said dismissively. If I cared what other people thought, I wouldn't have married you. So, classmate Mikai, can I ask why you wanted to marry me? I asked cautiously. You're the campus beauty. You're gorgeous, but before yesterday, you probably didn't even know me. It was even our first time meeting. Though the cafeteria atmosphere was hardly ideal, I still kept rambling and voiced every doubt I had. After listening, Mikai suddenly smiled. Husband, you're so silly. I would never marry someone I didn't like. When did you start liking me? I didn't know whether I should believe her, but my heart suddenly raced. Mikai made an unbelievably cute expression. That's a secret. I'll tell you someday. Since I had class that afternoon, after lunch with Mikai, I returned to my dorm. But the moment I entered, my 3 roommates pinned me to my bed. Start talking. What's going on between you and the campus beauty? My face stiffened. For a moment, I had no idea how to explain it. After all, this was completely unbelievable. In the end, I carefully came up with an explanation that barely held up. Only then did they reluctantly let me go. Class was over before long. I arrived at the library and spotted Mikai at once. Mikai was reading. I walked over and raised my brows. You can set a condition here, then substitute it in. Mikai looked up at me, then followed my guidance. She quickly solved the problem. Once she finished her work, Mikai said. Husband, come help me move my luggage. That was practically a taunt to every guy there. There were so many other boys in the library, but a strange pride rose in my heart. I eagerly followed Mikai toward the women's dormitory. Naturally, I couldn't go upstairs. The dorm supervisor wasn't blind, so I waited downstairs. Before long, Mikai came down pulling a suitcase. Let's go. I thought about it. As her husband, helping Mikai carry her luggage was simply my duty, wasn't it? Stiffly, I took the suitcase from Mikai's hand. A faint smile touched Mikai's lips. She smiled softly at me. Thank you, husband. Such an adorable girl. Was really my wife. Was this heaven? When we reached the apartment, I helped Mikai arrange her suitcase and some of her clothes. Then Mikai came out of her bedroom. I offered, do you need to buy any daily essentials? Mikai thoughtfully nibbled at one slender finger. Then she looked at me. If there is anything else I need, it would probably be you, husband. My face burned. How could Mikai be so flirtatious? Seeing how shy I was, Mikai couldn't help finding it amusing. He did not even realize how innocent he was in this era. That evening, after we had both washed up, Mikai even took a shower. I carried a quilt and planned to sleep in the living room. Just then, Mikai came out of the bathroom. She saw me holding my bedding and spoke seriously. Husband, don't sleep in the living room tonight, I asked instinctively. Then, where should I sleep? Mikai blushed. Sleep here. With that, Mikai sat on the bed and gently patted the space beside her. Sleep on the bed tonight. Sleeping on the couch all the time is bad for your neck. At that, my face instantly turned red. I was red to the ears. I wanted to insist that the couch was fine, but Mikai looked so adorable and alluring that it stirred the secret fantasies in my heart. We were only sleeping, so it should be fine, right? I carried my quilt into the bedroom. Mikai was on her phone. When she saw me carrying my quilt, she covered her mouth and laughed. Do you want to sleep under separate quilts? I nodded. I didn't dare look up at Mikai. Mikai smiled softly. All right. Let's sleep. I had been single for 20 years. I had never shared a bed with a girl. Mikai's slow, soft breathing sounded beside my ear. I forced myself to try sleeping for ages, but I still couldn't fall asleep. Carefully, I turned my head. I found myself face to face with Mikai's sleeping face. Since Mikai was asleep, I finally had my first chance to look at her without restraint. She had a finely sculpted nose bridge, and her full lips were especially enticing in the moonlight. They were so tempting, I wanted to bite them. Suddenly, I felt my breathing grow heavier. With such a delicate beauty beside me, how could I possibly sleep? Since she was my wife, a little kiss should be okay, right? My thoughts immediately wandered, especially with Mikai's full red lips so close at hand. Mikai suddenly moved. Startled, I quickly turned over, afraid she had caught me watching her. But Mikai had only shifted her arm and changed position. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was being far too shameless. I had actually wanted to take advantage of her while she slept. As my thoughts ran wild, something heavy landed on my thigh. My body went rigid. In the moonlight, I saw Mikai's jade-like calf. A powerful rush of shame and nervousness made my whole body feel numb. I tried to shift position, but as I turned, Mikai's thigh, which had rested on my waist, landed directly on an unspeakable part of me. That entire night, I had no idea how I ever managed to fall asleep. All night, I had soft, snowy white dreams. When I woke up, I seemed to be almost late. Oh no, I'm going to be late. I hurriedly got dressed, but Mikai came out of the kitchen. Husband, are you heading to class? Yes, I'm late for my morning class. I've got to go. No, you can't. Husband, you haven't had breakfast yet. Mikai blocked the door. If you're really in a hurry, take your breakfast with you. Then Mikai came from the kitchen with a small bag of sandwiches. She had clearly made them herself. The milk is ice cold. Don't rush too much on your way there. Poor me. I had never been treated so gently. My face turned bright red. I took the sandwiches and said awkwardly, thanks, Mikai. I'll get going. Mikai watched me with a beaming smile. Take care, husband. Since I hadn't eaten breakfast at home, when I reached the classroom, there were still a few minutes before class. I looked at the sandwiches and milk on my desk and felt something was off. How did Mikai know my taste so well? Ice milk is actually rather hard on the stomach, but I had never told anyone that I had this habit. Damn, third brother. Is that really necessary? Lu Die, our fourth brother, had just entered the classroom. He was speechless. Why are you staring at a sandwich? Aren't you hungry? If you're not hungry, I'll eat it. I haven't had breakfast yet. As he spoke, fourth brother reached for the sandwich. I snatched it up without hesitation. Fourth brother, keep dreaming. My wife made this for me. I wolfed down the sandwich in a few bites and gulped down some cold milk. It felt as if my whole summer had become wonderful. Lu Die's hands froze in midair. He shot me a resentful look. Our friendship has grown cold, son. Just then, the professor walked in. The professors for our major were all leading experts in their fields. We had to pay attention in class. No one paid attention to anything else after that. Mikai had no classes that morning. She stood in my apartment's living room, hands on her hips as she looked around. Countless memories flooded her heart. A smile bloomed bloomed across her breathtaking face. Was he always this fond of keeping things clean? How adorable. Since my husband is out, this little wife should tidy up our home. After talking to herself for a while, Mikai sent me a text. Husband, are you coming home for lunch? I was in class. Normally, I never let anything distract me, but for the first time, I took out my phone during class. When I saw Mikai's text, my heart stirred, and I replied, okay. Mikai read my reply, and happily rolled up her sleeves, ready to make lunch. After 11, Mikai was still in the kitchen. Then a knock suddenly sounded at the door. Did class end that early today? Mikai murmured to herself. She opened the door, only to find a middle-aged man standing outside. His expression was calm. Good afternoon, miss. Mikai covered her forehead. How did you find this place? The middle-aged man calmly replied. Finding out where you are isn't difficult, miss. Mikai pressed her lips together. Tell my family that I won't be going back this semester. The middle-aged man nodded. Master said that you are an adult now, miss. Whatever it is, you may make your own decisions. I'm married. For the first time, the middle-aged man's calm expression changed. Miss, you're married. Mikai nodded. Uncle Ming, could I ask you to keep this for my family, especially the marriage? For the first time, the middle-aged man gave a helpless smile. Since you ask, miss, of course, I will help you. But I am curious. Have you found that person? I know him. I can't be wrong. In this life, Mikai, will only marry him. Uncle Ming was deeply gratified. Miss, you have always known what you wanted. Now you have found someone to lean on. That is a wonderful thing. Mikai understood what Uncle Ming meant. She smiled happily. Uncle Ming had watched her grow up. He was also in the Holbai family, the only one who knew her secret. If even Uncle Ming did not approve, then on her own, she could hardly withstand her family's pressure. I am curious. What kind of man is your husband? Uncle Ming gave a slight bow. It seems you are already living with your husband, miss. Yes, I will introduce him to you sometime, but the time is not right yet. Understood, miss. I will find a way to handle your family. Mikai pressed her lips together. Thank you, Uncle Ming. The butler smiled faintly. Miss, I watched you grow up. There is no need to thank me. After seeing the butler off, Mikai finally breathed a sigh of relief. If even Uncle Ming had no faith in this, then things would truly be difficult for her. Just after noon, my class ended too. After a whole morning of classes and a bad night's sleep, I felt rather tired. Let us go find food in the cafeteria. Lu Die had been hungry all morning too. He was eager to head to the cafeteria, but I shook my head. I am not going to the cafeteria today. What? Are you trying to become an immortal? You are not eating regular food now? I rubbed my nose awkwardly. Well, Mikai is cooking at home, so I have to go home for lunch. Lu Die and several nearby classmates were instantly force-fed another huge display of affection. Are you trying to make us miserable? We came for lunch, not to be made jealous. When I returned to my apartment, I could already smell delicious food from inside. It was hard to imagine that such an adorable girl as Mikai could actually cook. I knocked on the door. Quick footsteps came from inside. The door opened, and Mikai stood there in an apron, looking at me. Her smile was radiant. Class is over. Her greeting felt a little strange. We were both still students, yet we already acted like an old married couple. My face reddened slightly. Yes, my major class just ended. Then wash your hands and eat. Two dishes and a soup were already laid out on the table. They looked, smelled, and tasted wonderful. I normally did not come home for lunch, but at that moment, I truly felt what home was like, because someone was waiting for me. My heart felt warm. By the end of the meal, the last trace of reservation in my heart had vanished. Mikai simply knew me too well. Some things I had never even told anyone myself, yet Mikai knew them. Where had she learned all this? Mikai, did we know each other before? Mikai froze for a moment, her face turning red. I told you not to call me Mikai anymore. You always make me so embarrassed. That bashful expression made my heart race wildly. The campus beauty really was adorable. I silently recited a calming mantra. I was afraid I might impulsively do something strange. Seeing me stare at her again, Mikai felt the sweetness in her heart. I am still the same. After all, I love making him blush. Silly husband. What are you looking at? Hurry up and eat. I have class this afternoon. Are you going back to school with me? I have work this afternoon, and I do not have any classes. The mood was both tender and innocent. Neither of us said a word. We quietly finished lunch. I stood and took the initiative to clear the dishes. After all, Mikai had cooked, so naturally I should do the dishes. Mikai sat in the living room, watching me. Busy in the kitchen, she could not help pressing her lips together. Of course, she knew that I did not have those feelings for her yet, although we were legally married and had a marriage certificate. When all was said and done, she had threatened me into marrying her. The reason I was willing to do these things was probably because I had a strong sense of responsibility. Was that strong sense of responsibility what had drawn her to me? After I finished the dishes, I found Mikai staring absently at me. I was utterly confused. After all, that kind of look was usually supposed to be on my face, not Mikai's. What are you looking at? I asked curiously. Mikai came back to herself. Her cheeks flushed as she softly said, "You." The campus beauty of Su University had quite a commanding presence. This bashful side of her was rare indeed. It felt as if my heart skipped a beat. It took me a long while to recover. The campus beauty was far too alluring. Mikai was pleased by my captivated expression. She did not believe that if she tempted me now and then, I would not eventually take the bait. Of course, a good, lasting relationship needed compatible values. There was no rush. They could take it slowly. A frog in slowly heating water will eventually be cooked. And I had no idea that Mikai had turned me into a frog and was slowly boiling me. I scratched my head. Right. I should get to work. Mikai nodded. Be careful on the way. You work so hard, husband. I still was not quite used to this kind of conversation that should only happen between spouses. I nodded. I wanted to say something, but nothing came to mind. In the end, I calmly left home. The bookstore was not very busy. While working, I could still find time to finish some projects. That was actually why I had moved out. Since my sophomore year, I had gradually taken on freelance work. I worked for both large and small companies, writing copy, processing data, and more. Since I was quite skilled with computers, only by combining all those different incomes could I afford to rent a place off campus. At 9:30 that night, I was about to clock out. As I was leaving, the store manager, Ming, called out to me, "Xiaoyun, what would you think if I let you take over this bookstore? Would you be interested?" I froze for a moment. This bookstore was only 100 meters from Qingmu Academy's gates. Business had always been good. I would. Manager Mai, are you not planning to keep running it? Ming nodded. I have too much going on, and often cannot attend to this place. You know I only come by occasionally. If you want to take it over, I can sell it to you at a lower price. I gave a wry smile. Manager Mai, I am interested, but this bookstore cost well over 100,000 yuan a year. Even after saving all I could these past 6 months, I had only saved 60,000 yuan. Ming did not lack money. This bookstore was likely just a hobby for her. She was definitely wealthy. I see. Ming studied me and my clear eyes carefully. She considered it for a long time. How about this? You can be the manager from now on. I will give you a raise, but you will need to devote more energy to the store. I happily nodded in agreement. I thought I was about to lose this part-time job, but things took an unexpected turn. Thank you for your faith in me, Manager Mai. Ming was pleased too. From now on, I should call you Manager Lin. I will announce your appointment in the work group. Head home early. I nodded, thinking of home. Where is sweet, delicate campus beauty was waiting for me. I really should get back early. When I got home, Mikai was indeed still awake. She had apparently taken a shower. Her damp hair hung loosely down her back. Her bare face still held a rosy glow from the bath. I said gently, "I'm home." Mikai gently took the little box from my hand. "You worked hard, husband. Would you like a late-night snack?" She had even made a late-night snack. I was a little surprised. Mikai smiled faintly. "Because I want to spoil your taste buds, husband. So, you will only want food I make from now on." Honestly, Mikai was truly an amazing cook. The ingredients were so simple, but once they passed through her hands, she turned them into dishes that looked, smelled, and tasted wonderful. "You are not eating?" Mikai had not touched her chopsticks, which left me puzzled. "No, it's fine. I made this for you, husband." Mikai rested her chin on her hand. Unlike my restraint, Mikai was far more at ease. She openly looked me over. That familiar face, that familiar voice, even that familiar way of eating. Certain memories flashed through Mikai's mind, and she suddenly felt shy. She watched me expectantly as I lifted food to my mouth with my chopsticks. Then she saw the satisfied look on my face. "Is it good?" I nodded. "Mikai, you are incredible. When it came to girls, you had to praise them more. Besides, Mikai really was a wonderful cook." Mikai smiled. "As long as you like it, husband, that's enough." At that moment, I felt incredibly happy. A girl like Mikai was adorable in every little gesture. I could never tire of looking at her. Though I still did not know when she had fallen so deeply for me, it did not stop me from feeling warm inside. It was fair to say that everything Mikai had done so far made her an almost perfect wife. I was almost flattered beyond belief. After eating, I once again took the initiative to clear the dishes. Mikai washed up first and went into the bedroom. I followed shortly afterward. Of course, we still slept under separate blankets. "Good night, husband." Mikai turned off the light after saying that. The bedroom immediately fell silent, but the problem was, I could not sleep. After her shower, Mikai carried a unique, delicate fragrance. Her body wash mingled with her natural scent, drifting irresistibly into my nose. In the moonlight, her skin was as smooth as cream, as if it could glow. I suddenly recalled a myth I had once read. It was about Aphrodite, the moon goddess. Right then, Mikai was Aphrodite. Was it not wrong to stare at her like this? I looked away, only to meet Mikai's bright, lively gaze. She was looking at me with eyes like shimmering spring water. They held yearning and love. I am sorry. Peeping at someone is wrong. I hurriedly apologized, but Mikai lay with her head on her arm, watching me tenderly. You do not need to apologize, husband. Her voice was soft and sweet, like a spring breeze brushing against my ear. If you like looking at me, husband, then that makes me happy too. As Mikai said this, more than half her face had turned red. I was completely inexperienced in love. How could I possibly handle this? But reason told me that there was still a huge gap between us. Mikai was the campus beauty, and the school forum had said that her family was well off. I had no money, power, or connections. My only redeeming quality was probably my decent grades, but I also knew that compared to all of Mikai's advantages, they hardly counted for anything. Yet Mikai seemed to know what I was thinking. She softly said, I know you still have many doubts, husband, but if you think it is necessary, we can start dating all over again. Start dating again? There was nothing wrong with falling in love after marriage. That was a bold thing to say. Mikai felt her cheeks burning. No matter how many times, whenever she faced this guy, her heart still could not help fluttering. I can give you a chance to court me, Mikai whispered. I swallowed hard. Could I really court you? As boyfriend and girlfriend, would I be able to hold Mikai's hand whenever I wanted? We could stroll around campus together, and maybe even do some intimate things. I could only think that either something was wrong with Mikai, or I was dreaming. Wait. This dream fell far too real. How could a girl's hand be so soft? Then I suddenly realized Mikai's slender, fair hand had slipped beneath my blanket and tightly clasped mine. So I really was not dreaming. You have class tomorrow too, right, husband? Yes. Specialized classes for half the day. Basic courses are in the afternoon. If you are not working tomorrow night, husband, could you go to the mall with me? It seemed I was not scheduled tomorrow night, but I still needed to go to the store. Since I was the manager now, Mikai's heart stirred. In her soft, sweet voice, she said, my underwear. I want to buy some new ones. Can you come with me after work, husband? The next day, Mikai sat in class, watching the teacher lecture from the podium, but her mind was not on the lesson. Mikai, have you checked the school forum these past 2 days? The speaker was Mikai's best friend, Tang. No. What are they saying on the forum? Mikai knew she had a crowd of admirers on the forum, practically a fan club. But she did not check the school forum often. They are all sharing posts saying, you are being kept by someone. Tang said quietly, you have not returned to the dorm these past 2 days. So some people have actually believed it. A faint smile touched Mikai's lips. I'd actually love to be kept by that guy. Tang was completely stunned. Could it really be true? I suppose you're right. I eat his food and live in his home. Calling it being kept is not entirely wrong. Seeing the smile on Mikai's lips, Tang felt helpless. So a fairy really had descended into the mortal world. She just did not know which lucky guy it was. He must be rich. Tang knew about Mikai's family. She did not believe that Mikai, a wealthy young lady herself, would be kept by some rich older man. Even if she truly were being kept, it should be by some wealthy heir, not an older man like the forum claimed. Him is a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan considered rich. Mikai smiled sweetly. Then she checked her phone. There was a transfer from me on WeChat. It was for 3,000 yuan. Below it was my message. You'll be buying groceries and things at home. This is for our shared household expenses. I've already paid the rent. Tell me if it isn't enough. Tang looked shocked. 5,000? Mikai, are you sure that covers your skincare products? Mikai answered seriously. When you have more money, you spend accordingly. When you have less, you adjust accordingly. Once I married him, I chose to follow his lead. For better or worse, whatever he gives me, I'll budget around that amount. Just who is this guy that he has our Mikai so devoted to him? And is it really wise to get this invested in a relationship? Chu Qingshu held her phone, her face full of sweetness. We aren't dating. You know. Tang was dumbfounded. Not dating? Yet you live together? We're already married. He's not my boyfriend. He's my husband. By the time class ended, it was already 11:40. A crowd of students had already packed the cafeteria entrance. After starting college, the cafeteria became every student's holy ground. I stood in line at the serving counter, looking down at my phone. Then someone suddenly tapped my shoulder. I looked up to find Mikai standing prettily before me. Her hands were tucked behind her back. She cutely said, stop waiting in line. Husband, I've already gotten your lunch. In an instant, I felt a wave of murderous stares shooting at me from around the cafeteria. Thanks. I decided this was not a place to linger. I hurried after Mikai to our table. 3 trays of food sat on the table, along with a girl I didn't know. Mikai introduced us with a smile. Fine. This is my husband. Tang Feiying's eyes lit up when she saw me. To be fair, in my own mind, I thought my looks were ordinary, the kind of face that disappeared in a crowd. But in reality, in Tang Feiying's eyes, I was a delicate, submissive-looking pretty boy. Perhaps because Mikai's campus queen aura was simply too powerful. Whenever I stood beside her, people naturally saw Mikai as the dominant one. My skin was also very fair, and I had a soft, almost feminine air. So looking at us, it seemed more like I was the one being won over by a domineering Mikai, but wasn't a submissive pretty boy, supposed to be. With a domineering young executive, Mikai did not seem dominant at all. Tang Feiying's thoughts immediately went off in a strange direction. Still, Mikai had both money and looks. If anyone was being kept, then Mikai was probably the one keeping me. This poor, delicate pretty boy was already being tormented by Mikai in his 3rd year. I had no idea that Tang Feiying, a boys love fangirl, was already imagining bizarre scenarios. Sitting down to eat with 2 girls felt a little awkward, but ET soon arrived, making that awkwardness vanish. So this is where you are. ET carried over his tray and sat beside me. Carefree as always, he completely ignored Tang Feiying. Mikai, our 3rd roommate hasn't been bullying you, has he? If he dares bully you, tell us. We'll set him straight. We agreed to support each other when school started. Why did you switch sides so fast? Mikai smiled with her lips pressed together. My husband treats me very well. He would never bully me, right? Husband. The moment she said that, a chill ran down my back. It seemed Mikai's words had earned me another round of invisible resentment. I helplessly played along. You're overthinking it. Mikai is so adorable. How could I ever bear to bully her? Mikai's large eyes curved into lovely crescents as she smiled. She picked up a piece of meat from her tray and held it to my lips. She coquettishly complained, "You only know how to make me blush." I'll silence that mouth with a bite of meat. Husband. Mikai, if you keep flaunting your affection like this, I might not make it out of school alive today. My afternoon classes ended at only 3:30. I had no classes after that. In the past, I would have studied in the library, but now that I was the manager, I needed to pay more attention to the bookstore. When I arrived at the store, the other staff greeted me with smiles. Hello, Manager Lin. I smiled and greeted each of them in return. Senior Xiaoyun. Congratulations. Manager Mai said you were promoted, so I came to congratulate you on your promotion. With that, Liu Ryan smilingly took out a small box and forcefully stuffed it into my arms. She was the bookstore team's darling, loved by all the women and men who worked there. Previously, my main responsibility at the bookstore was making drinks. I went behind the counter and started working. I had written the bookstore's management system myself. So, when it came to management, there was not much for me to worry about. I ate something at the bookstore that afternoon. I did not return to school either, and adjusted the store's management system. I worked until 9:30 that night. After tidying the counter, I was about to leave when a lovely figure suddenly walked in. It was Mikai. She walked straight to the counter. My face reddened slightly, though I had accepted the fact that Mikai and I were married. Every time I saw her, I still could not stop my heart from racing and my face from flushing. Miss, we're closing. Liu Ryan came over with a yawn. I waved my hand and said with a smile, "It's fine. I can work a little overtime tonight. You should head back to school first. I don't live at school anyway, so the dorm makes no difference to me." The campus curfew did not matter either. Liu Ryan froze for a moment, seeing the looks passing between them, with a hint of jealousy in their eyes. She could not help asking, "Is she someone you know well, Senior Xiaoyun?" I was about to explain, but Mikai spoke at just the right moment. "Yes, we know each other very well." Mikai, would you like something to drink? Mikai looked at me in my server uniform, pressed her lips together, and lightly leaned against the counter. She smiled. "I came to wait for you. If I want something to drink, why not make it for me when we get home?" Home? Liu Ryan was momentarily dazed. Then she looked at Mikai as if facing a formidable enemy. Is this woman Senior Xiaoyun's relative? But they don't look alike at all. HMPH. This woman does not look like a good person. Senior, don't let her fool you. Ryan screamed inwardly, but her face revealed nothing. She merely stared blankly at me. Her instincts told her that this woman's appearance would definitely have a major effect on Senior Xiaoyun. I cleaned the counter, then smiled. Come on, let's go home. After changing my clothes, I walked to the store entrance. After I closed the door, Mikai finally said, "Did you forget what you promised me?" Liu Ryan perked up her ears. She still could not quite figure out who this girl who had suddenly appeared was. But regardless, she would never allow anyone to deceive innocent Senior Xiaoyun. I immediately remembered. You mean we are going to buy that? I was too embarrassed to say bras or panties outright because it was just too embarrassing. But my evasiveness sounded highly suspicious to Liu Ryan. What exactly was that? Could it be what she was thinking? Mikai smiled sweetly. You promised to come with me. My face reddened. Was I really going with Mikai to buy bras and panties? Sure, It was normal for a married couple to buy underwear together, but it would be my first time entering a shop like that. Seeing my expression, Liu Ryan was not having it. Senior Xiaoyun, you should really live on campus. Things have not been very safe outside lately. Oh no. Senior Xiaoyun is about to belong to someone else. Who on earth is this girl? We're just going to buy some clothes. That should be fine, right? I scratched my head. Liu Ryan was speechless. Just buying clothes? Then why are you blushing? Liu Ryan's face reddened slightly. Awkwardly, she said, it's getting late. Senior Xiaoyun, I'll head back to school now. Bye. With that, she fled without daring to look back. I was completely baffled. Mikai smiled and looped her arm through mine. Come on, husband, come buy underwear with me. Qingmu Academy also had a shopping district nearby. The moment I reached the lingerie store, I felt countless eyes turn toward me. They probably thought I was a creep. In a women's lingerie store, a grown man shopping alone and shopping with his girlfriend were completely different things. Thankfully, Mikai linked her arm through mine, easing everyone's judgmental stares. Men willing to shop for lingerie with their girlfriends were good men, after all. I broke out in a cold sweat. I could not help feeling Mikai had done it on purpose. Otherwise, why hadn't she linked arms with me from the start? Mikai gave an adorable huff, then pulled me into the shop. Still, was it really alright for a man to browse a lingerie store? My feelings were incredibly complicated. I could tell. Mikai was seriously picking out bras and panties. Speaking of bras and panties, my gaze drifted involuntarily toward Mikai's short skirt. Girls are very sensitive to things like lingering looks. When she turned around, her eyes met my guilty gaze. This bad man. Mikai's eyes turned very dangerous. Do you like what you see, husband? I discreetly pretended to cough. Actually, Mikai, you look beautiful in anything. Hearing that, Mikai's little face reddened. HMPH. You pass. After that, Mikai chose several fairly modest pieces. The bras and panties were not like I'd imagined, the kind with barely any fabric. They were mostly cute styles with cartoon patterns, but considering Mikai's figure, even cute styles were unfairly tempting on her. At the checkout, I naturally paid. Mikai happily took my hand, only to find my palm drenched in sweat. That all but proved I had been sneaking looks at her. Mikai found it amusing. Once we left the lingerie store, I followed behind Mikai, and noticed even the campus beauty's earlobes were red. I thought, so, she was not as bold as she seemed either. Suddenly, my face flushed. I whispered, Mikai, if I wanted to see them, would you wear them for me? At that, Mikai turned around, looking confused. Husband, what did you just say? My whole face was burning. I was red as a lobster. If I wanted to see them. Mikai, could you wear them for me? Those cute ones we bought tonight. Mikai's face instantly turned visibly red. This guy, how could he so openly make such a naughty request? Though she was embarrassed, Mikai also felt a little proud. After all, no girl would receive this kind of request from her boyfriend or husband without feeling proud. When Mikai fell silent, I felt horribly guilty. I quickly lowered my head and apologized. I'm sorry. I was just saying it. Please don't take it to heart. Meanwhile, Mikai lowered her head. Her face felt like it was burning too. This bad man. Why did he always do things that made her unbearably embarrassed? And say such embarrassing things? Actually, if my husband wants to see them, Mikai can wear them for him. After saying that, Mikai felt steam was about to rise from her face. Mikai spoke so quietly that unless one listened carefully, it was impossible to hear. But my hearing had always been good. Mikai's shy, timid words left me a little stunned. Could a campus beauty really be this obedient? Seeing me stay silent with a red face, Mikai shyly hurried to change the subject. Then, husband, let's get some milk tea. I feel like I haven't had any in ages. In truth, her family did not allow her to drink this kind of high-sugar junk beverage. Long ago, she had begun taking care of her body, her appearance, and every inch of her skin. She had waited for the day her destined one would appear. Likewise, she had hoped to reveal her most beautiful self to that person. But when she truly met him, she found she was still the same as before. She liked acting spoiled, liked nestling into his arms, and liked sharing a drink with him, whatever that drink might be. Because our conversation had accidentally wandered into a rather indescribable topic, I hurriedly shifted my attention to the milk tea too. After all, if we kept talking about watching her lingerie show, it would be far too embarrassing. The two of us bought a lemon black tea. Mikai chose it, as usual. But the thing was, lemon black tea was my favorite flavor. I had no idea where Mikai had learned so many of my habits. It was as if Mikai had known me for a long time. With private, complicated doubts, I took the lemon black tea and had a sip. For some reason, I felt today's lemon black tea tasted better than usual. Somewhat puzzled, I lowered my head and looked at the cup in my hand. I casually said, why does this taste better than it usually does? At my words, Mikai blushed again. The shyness and affection in her gaze were almost spilling over. I froze. Wait, had Mikai already drunk from this cup? When we ordered the milk tea, I had not ordered one for myself. I had only let Mikai order a cup. Naturally, Mikai had put in the straw and taken the first sip. Wasn't this an indirect kiss? I smacked my lips. Mikai blushed even harder. She gave me an uneasy glance. Oh no. Had the campus beauty started treating me like her honey? It feels sweeter than usual. The moment the words left my mouth, I wanted to slap myself twice. That was such a shameless thing to say. But Mikai whispered in my ear, "Husband, do you think Mikai's saliva is sweet? Only lovers would think saliva tastes sweet." I did not want to admit it at all, that I thought Mikai's saliva was, well, you know. But the problem was, I really had said something outrageous. The idea that it had become sweeter was completely impossible. I gave an awkward laugh and dropped the subject. As a mature, sensible young man, I really should not let the campus beauty flirt with me every day. I should flirt back. Mikai pouted, looking exceptionally cute, but she did not hold my evasion against me. Was she easing me in, like the frog in slowly heated water? Though turning up the heat faster would work too. There was no need to rush. Afterward, we walked back to the apartment hand in hand. As usual, Mikai washed up and went to bed first. I thought I had gotten used to having Mikai beside me at night, but reality proved I was overthinking it. That night, Mikai could not sleep either. Her little face was flushed as she lay on her side, resting on her arm, her bright eyes fixed on me. I was starting to feel overwhelmed. Why were you still awake this late? Why were you staring at me? Husband, kiss me. She could not sleep. She had probably forgotten that she was sensitive to tea. After 1 cup of black tea, she felt wide awake. The sleepiness that usually came quickly at night had not appeared at all. It was already 2:30 in the morning. The night was so quiet, we could almost hear our hearts beating. I took the initiative and changed the subject. Mikai, now that you are married to me, does your family know? Mikai was silent for a long time. Then she suddenly said, Mikai does not have any family anymore. Mikai only has her husband. I was completely baffled. She almost had me believing her. The school forum had said long ago that her family was well off. I felt helpless. I always felt Mikai was hiding something from me. Why did she know me so well, while I knew nothing about her? Mikai gently lifted my blanket again and slipped her little hand beneath it. You're so warm, husband. That was when I understood. Mikai probably did not want to discuss it, even without thinking hard. Anyone would know that, given Mikai's circumstances, her family would naturally disapprove. Though I still did not know what Mikai saw in me, I could plainly feel that Mikai was sincere about me. After all, true feelings cannot be faked. Her actions, her little gestures, even her tone of voice, I could feel it all clearly. Thinking that, I gently took Mikai's hand and turned to face her. In the moonlight, her eyes were clear as snow, gazing at me with tender longing. My breath caught. For some reason, in my mind, countless moments with Mikai suddenly surfaced. I knew these were truly my own feelings, but on the other hand, I felt even more insecure. After all, the gap between Mikai and me was enormous. Yet my heart told me that Mikai was sincere about me. I should cherish her. Mikai's sweet voice broke the silence. Husband, what are you thinking about? After a long silence, I softly said, I am imagining our future. Mikai took my hand and placed it against her cheek in a soft, sweet voice. You do not need to imagine it. Mikai is right here beside you. No matter what happens, I want to stay with you until the very end. That was a confession, and Mikai said it without the slightest hesitation, as if a girl confessing to a boy were the most natural thing in the world. My heart was pounding wildly. The rational part of me told me not to get too deeply involved, but my pounding heart told me that I like Mikai too. I had liked her since the day we met. From the forum to after class, from the field to the classroom, Mikai's face was burning too. I could feel it beneath my hand. Husband, can you close your eyes? Even Mikai's voice was trembling. I obediently did as she asked, did she need me to? But before I could finish, warm, soft lips gently pressed against mine. It was Mikai's scent. I did not even know how I fell asleep. Maybe Mikai's lips were magic. Anyway, I felt like I had the sweetest dream. In that dream, Mikai. Never mind. Anyway, my first kiss was gone just like that. Even after I got to school, I could not stop grinning like an idiot. E.T., sitting beside me, felt surrounded by the sickly sweet stench of romance. His disgust was obvious. Meanwhile, Mikai had finished her morning class too. She rubbed her slightly throbbing temples. Tang Feiying leaned over. Well, you spent last night at that guy's place. Mikai nodded. I will be staying at his place from now on. And besides, what is with that nosy look on your face? Tang Feiying shamelessly teased. Oh, when I think of my beloved, adorable classmate Mikai being taken advantage of by some boy, my heart just aches. Mikai pinched Tang Feiying's cheek and coldly said, Heh, you are overthinking it. Xiaoyun and I are perfectly innocent. Nothing happened, except for the kiss. Tang Feiying froze. He is that innocent? No, that cannot be right. A beauty like you practically delivered yourself to his door, and he still held back. Mikai's fingers on Tang Feiying's cheek began to tighten. Ow, ow, ow. I was wrong. Mikai, I was wrong. Tang Feiying grimaced in pain and hurriedly begged for mercy. Mikai was wonderful in every way, except that whenever she got embarrassed, her grip became unbelievably strong. After class at noon, I walked out of the classroom, ready to head to the cafeteria. But the moment I reached the field, a figure rushed straight into my arms. Big brother, I missed you so much. This was the field, and everyone had just gotten out of class. Countless people immediately saw the scene. I was utterly speechless. The girl hugging me was named Yunshin. She is my little sister. You could even call us childhood friends. We came from the same orphanage. We grew up together. We have always been like siblings. The only difference was, when Yunshin was in middle school, she was adopted by a family. Her life had been stable ever since. And now, why was she still acting like a child? I quickly dodged aside. I am warning you. You ruined my reputation for all 3 years of high school. Everyone said I was into little girls. I am a normal guy, damn it. Yunshin stuck out her tongue. Big brother, you got out of class so early today. I was just about to say something when a pleasant voice called from behind me. Xiao Yun, let us have lunch together. It was Mikai. She had apparently gotten out of class too, and happened to run into Yunshin and me. Yunshin eyed Mikai warily. Big brother, this girl is. Yes. Mikai is my. You must be Yunshin. I am Xiao Yun's wife. You can call me Sister Mikai. Yunshin froze. Wife what? A wife for a moment. Yunshin felt as if her whole world had collapsed. She threw her arms around me, then glared fiercely at Mikai. Big brother, this woman is awful. She says she is your wife. Hurry and reject her. Hurry. Awkwardly, I scratched the back of my head. Well, Mikai is right. We really are married. Hearing that, Yunshin, who had been on the verge of breaking down, finally broke down completely. Married. Big brother Xiao Yun is married. He is someone else's husband now. Yunshin buried her face in my chest. Big brother, how can you still not understand? Xiaoshin is worried about you. It was as if Mikai had expected this all along. She smiled. Xiaoshin, do not worry. Big sister will take good care of you. Your brother will take good care of you too. Yunshin pouted. I do not need you to take care of me. My brother does not need you either. Big brother Xiao Yun only needs me. With that, Yunshin rubbed her head against me. That kind of gesture was how certain felines marked their territory. I broke out in a cold sweat. Xiaoshin, Mikai and I really did register our marriage. We are legally husband and wife. Yunshin slumped to the ground in defeat. It is over. We have only been apart a few days, and big brother Xiao Yun has already been taken away. Taken completely. Yunshin looked like a defeated puppy. She was pitiful. I could not bear it either. After all, we grew up together. Xiaoshin, let us have lunch together. Mikai smiled and put an arm around Yunshin's shoulders. In a voice only Yunshin could hear, she whispered in her ear, if you still want to stay by your brother's side, you had better do as I say. Yunshin roared inwardly. Big brother, this woman really is evil. Of course, I did not notice. My little sister, under Mikai's threat, trembling in fear, I simply walked on ahead. School was far too dangerous. After Yunshin hugged me like that, the school forum was surely already calling me a scumbag. At the school cafeteria, Mikai's appearance drew plenty of attention as usual, but I was actually even more conspicuous. Two campus goddess-level beauties walked on either side of me. It practically painted a target on my back. I could only sigh helplessly. Neither Yunshin nor Mikai would yield to the other, but Mikai held the absolute advantage. After all, she had the marriage certificate. The moment the two sat together, war broke out. Of course, with Mikai's overwhelming presence. It was only Yunshin attacking one-sidedly, and it had no effect at all. When did you marry my brother? You should ask your brother. He should know better than I do. So, do you think my brother is wonderful? Mikai covered her mouth and smiled. Of course. My husband is very innocent. I tricked him very easily. Stuck between them, I could only stare in total bewilderment, with no idea what was happening. I am an innocent virgin. You know. Do not say things like that, alright? Do not say that. People will get the wrong idea. Yunshin's little face turned bright red. She looked at me pleadingly. Big brother, look at her. She is giving me a headache too. Was this already a full-blown romantic battlefield? Though deep down, I was still on Mikai's side. Seeing Yunshin no longer confront her head-on, Mikai eased up on acting like the rightful wife. She simply ate beside me with a smile, occasionally placing a piece of meat onto my plate. The way we acted so close made Yunshin feel as if time were crawling by. First-year students had much busier schedules than second years. Yunshin vanished after lunch. Mikai watched Yunshin leave, lost in thought. It seemed some things had already begun, like the beating of a butterfly's wings, and were no longer unfolding as she had imagined. That time should be coming soon. I got out of class earlier than Mikai today, so I went straight to the bookstore that afternoon. Before I knew it, it was 9 that night. Only a few customers remained in the shop, yet Liu Ryan unusually stayed until the very end. I stood behind the counter, taking inventory and doing the accounts. Today's book sales were nearly enough to match for normal days of sales. The effect of a beautiful woman was terrifying. Liu Ryan had no idea. Serving tea and water, organizing the bookshelves. She did everything remarkably well. Being adorably airheaded had its advantages. When people said east, Liu Ryan answered west. She always left people completely confused, but that only made more people find her adorable. Then, I took the chance to sell several annual membership packages. After checking the supplies and book inventory, it was nearly 10 o'clock. Liu Ryan had finished clearing the final table too. With a beaming smile, I brought over a strawberry pudding and set it before Liu Ryan, like a pious-looking weasel plotting a scheme. Xiao Mao, you worked hard today. This is your reward. Unsurprisingly, Liu Ryan had no idea what working hard even meant. She stared at me in confusion. She had no idea tonight's surge in sales was entirely because of her. So I shamelessly put on my most calculating businessman smile. Xiao Mao, how well do you think I treat you? Liu Ryan blushed, as if she had realized something. She looked at me shyly, so her careful outfit today had been the right choice. Senior Xiao Yun had finally noticed how pretty she was. How about I give you a few more shifts? Liu Ryan went blank. Poor Liu Ryan felt as if I had lifted a bucket of water and dumped it straight over her head. All her shyness and affection seemed to evaporate in an instant. I thought you were the best senior, but all you can think about is exploiting me. Liu Ryan was too drained to complain anymore. With her future overtime arranged, she weakly finished cleaning the counter and left. After Liu Ryan left, I pushed open the door and stepped outside. There I saw Mikai, dressed especially sexy tonight. I froze on the spot. When we had lunch, Mikai was not wearing this, was she? Mikai was delighted by how stunned I looked. She came over and naturally linked her arm through mine. Honey, let's go home. Blushing, I nodded. I was truly dazzled by Mikai. Mikai usually had the image of a gentle, devoted wife, but seeing her suddenly look so sexy, in black stockings with those long legs. Alright, it really was impossible not to be tempted. When did you change clothes today? On the way home. I still couldn't resist asking. I changed after class this afternoon. I even made you a late-night snack. Do you like this outfit? Mikai was like an adorable little fairy, fluttering around me. She seemed to have suddenly become quite talkative. It looks great. Haha. I mean, what made you suddenly decide to change? You looked lovely this morning too. I want your friends to recognize me as your wife when they see me. If I didn't dress nicely, would they think I wasn't good enough for you? I was stunned again. Was this woman a professional flirt? How was I supposed to withstand that? A perfect wife was supposed to exist only in novels or anime, wasn't she? Had I saved the galaxy in my previous life? Or perhaps the entire real world? I sank straight into deep thought. Was there something wrong with me? Or with Mikai? Mikai covered her mouth and giggled, looking utterly pleased. All you know is how to make me blush. Now, you know what it feels like to be shy. Standing so close to me, she could hear my heartbeat perfectly clearly. When she said those words just now, my heart had been pounding. Mikai knew that too. Her rational side had always told her to keep her distance from him. The situation now was, in truth, the result of her reason and emotions warring within her, and what he was doing was steadily amplifying her emotions until she fell completely in love with him. I smiled bitterly, but other people will only think I'm not good enough for you. After all, on the school forum, 9 out of 10 people think I'm a toad. Mikai counted on her fingers. Yunshin and Liu Ryan, they both think I'm not good enough for you. So this was the jealous showdown waiting for me. My scalp prickled. I had no idea how to explain myself, but Mikai suddenly pointed to the side. Look. I turned my head, only to feel Mikai's lips touch my cheek. I stood there, red-faced and dumbstruck. I could even feel the spot Mikai had kissed, burning faintly. I murmured, if it were lips to lips, it might be even better. At that, Mikai looked utterly baffled. There you go again. You think you're the only damn one who can flirt? I can do it too. After all, I'm a top student. I learn quickly and can use a skill like this with ease. I thought Mikai would be embarrassed. Her presence was powerful, but she was also a beautiful girl who blushed easily. Yet, to my surprise, Mikai instead gave me an especially dangerous look. As she stared at me, I instantly backed down. As expected, Mikai was the real boss. Mikai snorted coldly. Her voice was still sweet and adorable, but her tone was far from friendly. All you know is how to sweet-talk people and take advantage of me. Sorry. I immediately cowered. Seeing me like that, Mikai couldn't help covering her mouth and laughing. This guy really hadn't changed. He admitted fault faster than anyone, but he simply never changed. I hadn't expected him to be like this already. When Mikai smiled, I immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Mikai affectionately linked her arm through mine and said sweetly, from now on, Don't flirt with other girls. You may only talk to me like that. I nodded obediently, looking as well behaved as could be. I got up fairly early the next day, believing it was only fair if everyone contributed. I made Mikai breakfast before heading to school. Since it was Friday, we only had classes for half a day. That afternoon, however, I began to feel a dull discomfort in my head. For the rest of the day, I thought I might have heat exhaustion and drifted into a dazed sleep. But to my surprise, I slept straight past 6 in the evening. Mikai's call woke me. When I woke, my head felt like it was splitting apart. It felt as if my mind were suddenly filled with countless things, as though I had dreamed an incredibly long dream. I had even dreamed of a blue planet. So much had happened in that dream, and it was so complicated that my head still hurt after waking. What's wrong, honey? Mikai's voice came through the phone, sounding worried. No, nothing. I might have heat exhaustion. I just fell asleep. I feel much better now, though my ears still rang from time to time. A little over 10 minutes later, Mikai returned to the rented apartment, worry written all over her face. Honey, are you alright? My face was pale, and I looked exhausted. It's nothing. It has probably just been too hot these past few days. Mikai gave me a suspicious look. Her instincts told her I might not be telling the truth. But since I wasn't willing to talk, Mikai wouldn't pressure me. She simply brought out the food and prepared to eat dinner. Looking at the fragrant, delicious food on the table, I kept wondering whether I had experienced all this before. It felt as if Mikai had been my wife for a very long time. This strange sense of familiarity made me uncomfortable. I ate dinner calmly, yet in my mind, the story of that blue planet continued to unfold. The beautiful songs, the novels and stories, and even some mysterious code. And Mikai, as my wife, naturally noticed my unease right away. Yet she did not disturb me, as if she knew something. My instincts told me these things represented an enormous fortune. After several hours of deep thought, I let out a long breath. No one could be allowed to learn about this. It would be dangerous for me and for everyone else. Seeing me return to normal, Mikai brought me a glass of water. Honey, are you feeling better? I felt even more guilty. I'm sorry I worried you, Mikai. Mikai shook her head. Honey, you've been working so hard at school and at work. I haven't been able to help you. I'm the one who should apologize. I raised an eyebrow. There you go, saying such sweet things again. Come here and give me a kiss. Mikai was covered in question marks. I froze too. Those words just now had only been spoken in my afternoon dream. I hadn't expected to say them out loud. I was about to explain myself when I noticed Mikai's face turning visibly red. She whispered shyly, if Mikai gave her husband a kiss, would you feel better? That really wasn't what I meant. Yet Mikai's shy, adorable expression made desire flare within me. Relying on the wealth stored in my mind, I figured I could get away with being a little daring. So, I, who had always been reserved, finally made the first move. I suddenly wrapped my arms around Mikai and pulled her onto my lap. Though Mikai knew me so well, when I actually made a move, she was stunned instead. Was her husband really this forward? Could it be that before this, I had only been pretending? Although a very long time ago, she had known that I was actually quite forward. Sitting on my lap, Mikai weakly clung to my shoulders. We gazed into each other's eyes. My eyes no longer held the fear they once had. Instead, they held an unstoppable confidence. Mikai wrapped her arms around my neck and said softly, honey, you figured some things out, haven't you? Is that so? I looked at Mikai. I felt a little touched. Mikai had noticed my change so quickly. I was thinking, since student Mikai thinks so highly of me, and I've been so unresponsive these past few days, haven't I been a little unfair to you? At that, Mikai timidly buried her head in my chest and shyly said, honey, please do not pick on Mikai anymore. Hearing her call me honey thrilled me. Mikai often made my heart race and my cheeks burn. But now, does this count as bullying? I gently kissed Mikai's forehead, then let her go. Mikai looked puzzled. That is all. I tapped Mikai's nose. There is no rush. When you have time, Mikai, could you let me meet your family? I did not know much about Mikai's family, but on the school forum, there were always rumors going around. Mikai stiffened at my words. Meet her family so soon? Mikai was not ready yet. The campus beauty's voice was filled with unease. After all, she knew exactly what her family was like. Mikai knew them inside out. This was not the time she had imagined. Back then, I had entered in almost the manner of a savior. When I stepped into the Su family home, the terms I offered then were impossible for anyone in the Su family to refuse. It had been a deal from the very beginning, and Mikai herself was the bargaining chip. Truthfully, that memory was deeply humiliating for Mikai. The dignified eldest daughter of the Su family had acted like a little maid, dressing herself as a gift and delivering herself to my door. It was worse than giving herself away for free to Mikai. At first, it was an utterly humiliating and shameful chapter, but looking back now, she could not help finding it a little sweet. Still, putting that aside, the me of today was, putting it nicely, an ordinary person. Putting it bluntly, I was a broke shut-in. Forget stepping into the Su family home. I might not even get past Uncle Ming. Seeing that Mikai was unwilling, I did not pressure her. We were still college students, after all. There was no rush. The two of us lay on the same bed and talked about a few more things. School, the future, and so on, until Mikai curled up in my arms and fell soundly asleep. 3 straight days of final exams kept every student on edge. For some reason, I seemed divinely inspired in every exam. No matter the subject, I handed in my paper half an hour early. As a top student, consistently ranked in the top 5. No teacher said anything about my early submissions. The students in my exam room saw this and nearly lost their nerve. Was this the power of an academic genius? When summer break began, Mikai did not return home. She texted me, saying her family came to pick her up as soon as her exams ended. I put away my phone, thinking of Mikai's pitiful expression. My heart warmed slightly. Just then, a black sedan stopped outside the villa. The car door opened, and Mikai, wearing a long white dress, stepped out. The butlers and servants all bowed. "Welcome home, miss." The head butler, who had once spoken with Mikai at the rented apartment, Ming, stood by the living room hallway. Seeing Mikai walk in with such calm composure, he could not help admiring her. Mikai now had completely shed the childishness of the little girl she once was. Calling her a refined young lady was no exaggeration. Uncle Ming. Mikai's eyes shifted slightly as she gave Ming a slight nod in greeting. Inside the living room, a man in his 60s sat on the sofa, calmly reading a newspaper. "Mikai, you are back." The man before her was Su, the current head of the Su Corporation, the current head of the Su family, and Mikai's grandfather. The old man was also very pleased with this granddaughter. Although her grades were merely average, when it came to business and important matters, she seemed almost clairvoyant. With grandfather and granddaughter working together, the Su Corporation's development had reached another new peak. "Sit down. We can eat once your father returns." Mikai nodded. "All right, Grandpa." As Su-hai read the newspaper, he asked, "I hear you are dating someone at school." Mikai was not surprised at all that her grandfather knew. After all, the school forum was filled with gossip about her. Her family cared about marriage. As for dating, they likely would not interfere. Mikai did not try to hide or deny it. There was no point in that. "He is a classmate in my year." Su-hai did not seem to care. Smiling, he continued, "I hear his grades are good. His overall scores have consistently ranked in the top 5. I hear he should rank in the top 3 this time. He is a promising prospect." A small ache pierced Mikai's heart. Using such emotionless, purely value-driven words to describe the man she loved deeply did not feel good. "Handle matters of the heart as you see fit. You are a rational person. You do not need us old folks to worry over you. In matters like this, I have only one request. Think it through carefully. Go on. Your father should be here by now. Your grandmother is upstairs. Go call her down." From beginning to end, Su-hai never even asked my name, because to him, if someone was not from their social circle, he would never allow them near Mikai. In the end, dinners at the Su home were always stiffly formal, almost excessively so. A meal was just a meal. No one discussed anything. Eating in silence was enough. Since childhood, Mikai had lived in this cold family environment. After drinking the lukewarm soup, Mikai considered her dinner finished. At that moment, Mikai desperately missed the little rented apartment we shared. There, the two of us ate together, without any rule against talking during meals. That guy would tell sweet little jokes to make her smile. He knew how hard she worked cooking, and would volunteer to wash the dishes. When she was busy studying, he would make a couple of plain-looking, but tasty dishes. That was what a home should be, not a social obligation. Disgust flickered through Mikai's eyes, but her family at the table did not notice. "I am finished. Father, Grandpa, Grandma, please enjoy your meal." Mikai's mother died young. Her father, Su-ning, was busy with business and never remarried. Though Mikai knew Su-ning had more than one mistress outside the home, Su-hai did not allow those women into the Su home. It did not matter. They could love whoever they wanted. Within the Su family villa, Mikai would always be the peerless, refined young lady, the obedient granddaughter, and thoughtful daughter. As for putting on an act, Mikai had begun the moment she learned those things. She had been acting for a full 12 years. Only after Su-ning was certain that the family would no longer assign anyone but him to look after Mikai's life, did she come to find me near the end of her sophomore year. Of course, I knew nothing about these things. Perhaps I never would. The sacrifices of loving someone, the perseverance, the pain, and the silent endurance, all that darkness and oppression. Mikai did not want me to know. She felt for the version of me in that other timeline. I did not take a summer job. Instead, I stayed in my rented apartment from the first day of vacation. I worked at high intensity for nearly 17 hours a day. At last, I recreated the mysterious code from my mind within the computing matrix I had built. Then I took a deep breath and pressed enter. In the blink of an eye, Monday arrived. My birthday. Kids from an orphanage do not really have birthdays. July 3rd was the day I had been sent to the orphanage. That was how I had marked it all these years. I never cared much about my birthday. I bought vegetables at the supermarket, along with meat and fruit, and made a fairly lavish dinner. That was my birthday celebration. Just as I was about to dig in, someone suddenly knocked at the door. I was puzzled. It could not be me. She should have been overseas by now. When I opened the door, a petite, doll-like girl in a pink maid outfit stood in the doorway, her entire face crimson. Senior Xiaoyun, happy birthday. I give up. You city folks really know how to have fun. So, Xiaomao, how did you find this place? I asked, baffled. Fewer than 10 people knew about this apartment. I could count them on both hands, and Liu Ryan was not one of them. Liu Ryan blushed, then stammered. Shaoxin helped you book an at-home service. I nearly choked on my own saliva. This sounds far too suggestive. Could you not say it like that? Liu Ryan's voice grew softer and softer, though she was clearly joking. Liu Ryan could not go on herself. Her whole face was bright red. I spouted nonsense with a perfectly straight face. How could I possibly order that kind of service? Besides, you are my junior. Even if I did order an at-home service, I would never call you. Liu Ryan looked up, visibly hurt. Shaoxin said at-home service meant washing your hair and things like that. Why can a junior not do it? I was stunned. So the at-home service you meant was that kind of at-home service? Well, do not just stand there. Have you eaten? I just made a whole table of food. I was utterly embarrassed. I felt like such a filthy-minded jerk. But Liu Ryan did not answer. She simply took a white towel from her bag, then looked at me expectantly. I was confused. Did she really need to bring her own towel to wash my hair? Just how slovenly did she think I was? Seeing me staring blankly, Liu Ryan blushed again. Shyly, she stuffed the towel into my hand. Senior Xiaoyun. Come on then. Then, with her face burning red, Liu Ryan lowered her head into the wash basin, as if waiting for me. I was dumbfounded. Wait, is it not my birthday? With her head lowered, Liu Ryan's voice was full of shyness. It is, Shaoxin said. The thing you used to enjoy most was washing other people's hair. So she sent me to indulge you. Washing someone's hair. Was that not something husbands did for their wives? Just thinking that soon, Senior Xiaoyun's large hands would touch her hair, then gently knead it with such tender affection. No. She could not keep thinking about it. She was going to start acting strange. Liu Ryan felt her whole body go weak. She gripped the wash basin with both hands, in an unbearably suggestive pose, like a flower waiting for me to pick it. Even I understood by then that my dear little sister had definitely set me up. Liu Ryan was innocent and simple-hearted. There was no way she would come here on her own to offer some at-home service. What kind of at-home service comes to your door only to have the client wash the service worker's hair? For a moment, I did not know what to say. I did often wash Yunshin's hair when we were kids. After all, back then, learning to huddle together for warmth was essential. Besides, I had always treated Yunshin as my little sister. Why was Liu Ryan suddenly here to have me wash her hair? What was this supposed to be? But seeing Liu Ryan like this, all I could do was helplessly roll up my sleeves. It was not as if I had never washed someone's hair before. When I gently placed my hand on Liu Ryan's head, Liu Ryan's small, cherry-red lips involuntarily let out a string of blissful gasps. She immediately covered her mouth. My hand slipped as I massaged her. I was only washing your hair. Could you not make sounds that are so easy to misunderstand? Just as Liu Ryan and I were both dying of embarrassment, the lock on the door turned. Then someone I never expected walked in. Why was Mikai back